Hello and welcome to God's Minute. I'm Pastor Jonathan Conrad. I'm the senior pastor at St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Wilmington, North Carolina. And this week we're looking at the prophet Zephaniah. And today I called this passage the Punisher. So let's get to our passage reading for the day. The great day of the Lord is near, near and hastening fast. The sound of the day of the Lord is bitter. The warrior cries aloud there. That day will be a day of wrath, a day of distress and anguish, a day of ruin and devastation, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of trumpet blast and battle cry, against the fortified cities and against the lofty battlements. I will bring such distress upon people that they shall walk like the blind, because they have sinned against the Lord. Their blood shall be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them on the day of the Lord's wrath. In the fire of his passion, the whole earth shall be consumed. For a terrible end, he will make of all the inhabitants of the earth. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about the day of the Lord. In my tradition, one of the greetings that we have is, "This is the day that the Lord has made." And that's a good thing. But we are not talking about that particular day. We are talking about the day of the Lord as the prophets saw it. For the prophets of Israel and the people of Israel, the day of the Lord was all about destruction, darkness, and utter doom. Zephaniah talks about this day in our passage. You can see this as promise, as it is promising what's going to happen in the future. And we see this when Babylon invades Jerusalem and destroys the city. But you can also see it as a warning. Now, in my household, I'm the pushover. The kids run over me all day and all night. But if I tell them, "Don't make me get mom," they stop. And in this passage, the day of the Lord looks a lot like a "don't make me get God." And I want to point out verse 18, where it mentions that those who try to pay God off with silver and gold. Two things. Those people relied on money more than they relied on God. They think that money is the answer for everything, even destruction. Second, God cannot be bribed. And that leads into grace. The Lutherans' teaching is grace alone. This means that God's salvation is an act of grace on God's part. We have nothing to do with it. We did not earn it, and we certainly did not buy God's love. And this ties into our reading. And just like in Zephaniah, the righteous can only rely on God's decision to hide them from the day of the Lord. And that word hide comes into play tomorrow as well. But today, remember, you cannot pay God to love you. God loves you. You don't have to use money or PayPal or Apple Pay or Amazon to make this transaction. The transaction happened in, through, and with the cross of Jesus Christ. And there is no refund. God is in this for the long haul, which is our whole lives. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow for another edition of God's Minute. You take care and God bless.